Okay, so welcome back. Since the last video I've created 16 ad groups, as you can see down here on the right hand side, and if we just move over here to the scroll bar, we can slowly scroll down through them and you can see the type of ad groups that I've added, all very relevant to the locksmith campaign that we're creating. So the next thing to do is to figure out the amount that we want to bid per click for these keywords. And if you just look up here, you can see the bid range is between £0 and £20. Now, having worked in this industry personally before myself, I can tell you that £6–7 is quite a good area to be bidding, and that can be seen over here if we just look at some of the example keywords. Nearly £6 there for Wakefield, Manchester's all the way up to £9, York nearly £6, local locksmith around £6 again. So £6–7 is an area that I've found to be quite good, and you can get a rough idea by looking at the suggested bids here. So the next thing to do is to come over here to review forecast. We're just going to click that and go to the next page. And we're just going to come up here to the enter a bid box. And we're going to enter our bid in, which for this we'll enter £7. The next thing I want to do is just come here to the United Kingdom, remove United Kingdom, and we're just going to add in West Yorkshire, as this is going to be the area that we're operating in, or the closest one that we're going to be able to find in this keyword planner tool. So we're going to add that. And what that's going to do is it's going to generate us some information on the average daily forecast for these ad groups and these keywords. And as you can see, we can expect to get between 13 and 16 clicks a day. And that's going to cost us anywhere from £37 up to £45. So on a monthly basis, that'd be a maximum of around £1,500, which seems about right for this kind of campaign. That doesn't mean you have to spend £1,500. You could spend 500, 1,000. If you were more aggressive on the bids, potentially you could spend more, but it's just a rough guide of the sort of money you're going to be paying. We can also see that the average position here is 2 or slightly better by bidding £7. If we change that, let's say to £4, then the information here is going to change slightly. So we're going to get slightly less clicks on a daily basis because we're not going to be in as good a position. The position is going to slide slightly down to between 2 and 3. And the daily cost is going to be a little bit less. And I mean, at £27, the maximum you're likely to spend a month is probably going to be around £1,000. Okay, so we're just going to go over here to the right hand side and scroll down, and we can see our ad groups here, and you can see the amount of keywords that are in each group. If we come over here as well, you can also see the way that the clicks and the impressions are divided between these ad groups. And you can see the average cost per click. Now, despite the fact that we are bidding £4 here, you'll notice that the actual cost per clicks aren't £4. In fact, some of them are much lower. And you will find that with AdWords. Just because you bid in a certain amount, it doesn't mean you're going to pay that. That is basically you just telling Google, this is the maximum I'm prepared to pay. And basically all that will happen is you will bid slightly more than the person who's bidding below you. So for the most part, you're not going to pay the full amount that you suggest. It's going to be slightly less. Also, another thing to take into account is these numbers are estimates and they're not set in stone. If you increase your click-through rate and you're getting more clicks, if you could increase that to 4%, for example, that's going to mean you're getting nearly 2 clicks a day as opposed to nearly 1 click a day on average. So these are all subject to change depending on how well your campaign performs. Okay, so the next thing to do is we're going to download this plan into Excel. So we're going to click the download button. Then we're going to click the download button here. Click Save Plan. And that's going to prompt us to open this with Microsoft Excel. So we're just going to click the OK button. And here we go, all the keywords and ad groups have now been downloaded into Excel. Now this may look a little bit complicated to start with, but it really is quite simple. What we're interested in is this row here, the ad groups, and the corresponding keywords which are here. And I'll just click here to open that up a little bit, and click here to open that a little bit up. So if you look here, that is the ad group, and the corresponding keywords can be seen here. And then when we see a gap, that's moving on to the next ad group, which is locksmith in Bradford. And that carries on down the page. You can see where the keywords are split into separate ad groups here. So what we're going to be doing later on when we start creating the ad groups is we're going to create an ad group, for example, car locksmith, and then we'll be coming back here and we'll be copy and pasting these keywords and adding them into our ad groups in the Google AdWords interface. Okay, so the only thing we need to do now is just come up here, click on the button in the top left corner, go to Save As, and we're going to save this as an Excel workbook. Now I've created a folder, Locksmithing Leads, so we'll click on that. And we're just going to save the ad groups and keywords in this folder. Now if you're doing this yourself, you might want to create a little folder on your desktop or in your documents, somewhere like that where you're going to remember where it is, and select to save it there. So I'm going to rename this now, and I'm going to call it Locksmith Ad Groups, and hit the save button. Okay, so that's it now for this video on keyword research. In the next video we're just going to have a quick look at match types before we start actually adding these keywords and ad groups into our campaign. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.